Really? Oh my God, this is not going to be a good day today with my headphones. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I'm running just a tad late trying to get everything going. YouTube's running. Well, let's say YouTube channel number 3 is up and running. Rumble number 1 is up and running, and the main Twitch is running. So let's make this happen.
We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, it won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution. We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, it won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution.
The revolution won't be televised. Government been telling lies. If you're not with us, you better step aside. Witnessing a genocide. Everything is centralized. The food that we consume and they spraying it all with pesticides. Easily identify the sheep and the snake, the real and the fake, giving us a reason to pray. I'ma make my own choices. A voice for the voiceless. They trying to destroy us, avoiding the poison. It's all pointless if you don't have a purpose. If you read the verses, you'll know who we versing. Government can't tell you what your worth is. Look deeper than the surface. They don't even want you researching or asking questions. We all being tested. Shh. Shut your mouth, they comply, that's the message. Want you depressed on prescriptions that mess with your head. Got you stressing, suppressing expression.
We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, it won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution. We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, it won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution.
Keep the money, I would rather have my soul. They want power and control, that's their number one goal. All my friends turn to foes, look how easily they fold. Even Nazis say they were doing what they told. Walking down this road all alone in the cold, but my soul never sold. I'm exposing the clones. God has chosen this role. All of those who oppose want me hopeless and broke, like I'm Noah on boats. I'm just trying to tell them all about the flood. I can feel it in my bones, I can feel it in my blood. Man, I came up out of mud, only God is my judge. I don't listen to these politicians, they the real thugs. Won't comply with the lies, they disguise it as science. They want you compliant, the media's bias. These corporate giants are capitalizing on us by dividing, but I'll keep on fighting.
We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, it won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution. They're trying to dumb us down. Don't want us to make a sound. We gotta get out of now, 'cause it's a revolution. We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, we won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution.
Hey, it's a little Adam. Sessions, full steam ahead. Over there. I want to go over there. Jeffy, go take a nap. Hey, Shifty, my FISA report is bigger than your whole boat.
It's the Donald.
Hey, Shif, read the damn transcripts. Bend over, because my foot's going in. Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter Biden?
No trial, no rule of law. You idiot! What the hell are you? What? No!
Must be smuggling coke for Hunter Biden. Witch hunt. I want a trial.
What the hell are you? What?
No brakes on this train.
Stop! 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 We cannot win a trial in the Senate.
Drop the IG report. Hey, you scratched my anchor.
Stand up and go. Oh, ching. Here come the hot stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Excuse me, Mr. Officer. Still live it like that. Extraordinary. Juice strawberry. Money to burn, baby, all of the time. Cause the fit, the spirit, fit to cut the shit. Come juggle with me. Say every time. Come the hot stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster.
Good morning. How are you? Let's see here. Let's turn this down a little bit. Well, we have issues today with all the headsets didn't charge overnight, so I'm going to do this without. Luckily I know all this. So, good morning. How are you? It's Friday. You like the shirt? It's happy festive day is what it is. Wow, Shinzo Abe is dead. He who was right with Trump at the very beginning. I am so severely bummed because they took out a major leader. Well, he wasn't leading anymore because he had stepped down, but you know, Shinzo was dead on the spot. We have the video on that. And why is that not? Oh, that's why. There we go. Yeah, it's been a fun morning so far. All 4 headsets are dead. 2 of them were supposed to charge overnight, but they didn't. Currently got F1 on one of the TV, got myself on the other. And let's say our good mornings. Okay, Sally, you're funny. You forgot it was, how does one forget it's Friday? I don't get that. Okay, so let me redo this because we have, oh, so here's some interesting news. We got banned from YouTube yesterday for 1 week on our one channel. So we're on backup channel number 4 and we'll just keep doing this. I don't care. I just want to get it out there. They want to hit me up for, wow, and even this is not loading. Let me do this. We put the right ones in the right spot. Don't put the Twitch in the YouTube spot, and don't put the YouTube in the Twitch spot. And maybe, just maybe, it'll work. There we go. See? Look at that, it worked. Let's go with the dark mode today. It's Friday. There we go. Hi, Beth. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Oh, I've already got it. And as we see, the Dow is minus. So I don't have anything in the queue. Yeah, right. I agree, Lee. It really is. So we didn't have anything in the queue. So let me go over here. Let's first start off in. We'll start off with Rumble, T-Bone, Susie Q, Abundant, Ray, good morning. Today is episode 394, Abracadabra. We're going to learn about that word and why it is so vastly important to humanity, and why as a kid you used to say Abracadabra. All right, moderators, Booger, Sturgis, Steves. Hey, by the way, thanks for sending that to me. I didn't get that in today's show. Sissy Jag, Larry, otherwise known as the Link Master, and Larry, aka Noreen, who cannot subscribe to this channel. I wanted to tell you, I wrote them personally about your situation. I took screenshots and everything, and maybe they're not the greatest at resolving things, I've learned. Let's see here. Smalls, good morning. You're not killing me this morning. You're always in here. I love you, brother. I cannot wait for the day that we get to meet, and that is going to be some interesting conversations. Yeah, that's going to be abundant. And Beth, Brother Halcyon, good morning to all three of you. Vitel, good morning. Eeyore, Amazed. Lean Mad, how are you, Howling? Jay, John, good afternoon. Sally is in listening mode. She forgot today was Friday. You're killing me, girlfriend. Or as they said in the Sandlot, you're killing me, Smalls. Kishore, good afternoon. It's really good to see you back up in the chat and getting emails from you again. I love you, brother. And I can't wait for the day that you and John and I can have a pint of not Guinness beer. Yeah, just can't drink Guinness. Oh, is that Bodie? Oh, what's up, Bodie? Dude, I saw a picture of you with a gun in your hands, and you were wearing flip-flops, and you were a man on a mission, and you looked awesome. I gotta tell you, that was an awesome picture of you. Let's see here. Roadster Boy. So we're in Q1, 5 minutes left. Hamilton's on the pole. Perez, Alonso, Leclerc, Russell, Saez. Mick Schumacher in 7th. Whoa, 3/10 down. It's going to be crazy qualifying. Maggie, Mighty Maggie. Hey, Mike, next weekend, you and me, Friday. Minkles, that way I can hang out with little Stella. Stella, that beautiful little puppy. Omni Coverage. Good afternoon, Omni Coverage. Wow, we've got a lot of good afternoon guys in here today. Supra 420, Barbara. Konnichiwa, Bonita Vista. Vida. Business Daddy, Sinfro, Dr. Excite. E234423. Ooh, I like that. Ellie K. Payton, good morning to you. G Marine, G Bob, just call me Red 1, not 4, not 5, but 1, because there's only one. Lee Kirk Allen, good morning to the both of you. Lynn, good morning to you. My dear 747. You know, it's kind of funny. I asked Ray J a question the other day. What time does Panic start? And she gives me the day that Kennedy was shot. And I'm like, well, yeah, but no, that wasn't what we're pretending. There's a lot going on right now. And there is some markers that happened. The second of the 33 buildings was destroyed yesterday. I don't know if you caught that. So we got 2 down and 31 to go. The White House being one of those, in the Washington Monument. As yesterday, we showed that it's 6,660.6 inches tall and 666 inches wide. They do things for a reason. Oh, sister Nursery. Guten Tag. How are you? I've been to Germany once. My little sister is married to a German. He's a great guy. I love him. He is a great guy. Takes good care of my sister, or should I say, they take good care of each other because they do the same thing in the automotive business. And it's really weird being around them because they talk nothing about their business because they're both under NDAs. They're making cars. My sister designs the interior of the car, and my brother-in-law, he does the outside front ends of cars. So yeah, really wild. He works at Hyundai, and she's currently working for, what did she tell me? Land Rover. She's doing like a 3-month gig for Land Rover. She's a hired gun now. She teaches automotive interior design at the Art Center in Pasadena, which is the creme de la creme. If you want to be in the automobile industry, that's the school you go to. And they reached out to her after her time at Tesla and asked her if she wanted to do it. And Now my sister teaches 4 times a week. Good for her. All right, I'm pulling up the newsreader before we go over because I wanted to talk about this one thing. All right, here we go. It's, did that, I could have swore I saved that. You know, there are times that this thing just boggles my mind. Okay, well, that is the stuff I put in. Just didn't go in. All right, here we go. Let's get on with the memes of the day. And if you didn't know, it's happening. It's just they're not going to announce it, but you can see by this list that things are happening, especially in the UK with their government basically stepping down. And where is the Queen? In this, don't quit means do it. Just like my father used to tell me, when you say I can't, that means I wouldn't try. You know, always try. That's what you're here for. This extremely rare billion-year-old black diamond is from outer space going on auction. Joe Rogan had David Marshall on, human cloning whistleblower. That was the stuff that Cappy was talking about. Now, isn't this interesting that the Golden Age led to the Silver Age, that led to the Bronze Age, that led to the Iron Age, which then goes full circle back to the Golden Age? So do you see iron to gold? Firing squad. What is it say on his hat? And if you didn't know, this is how much on the black market a child goes for. Yeah, it's the child rescue. And here's what a sex trafficker looks like. Your border, your city, your store, your gas, your president. Did you know that Mark Zuckerberg's real name is Jacob Greenberg and he is the grandson of David Rockefeller? Zuckerberg in German is Sugar Mountain, the clandestine word for Facebook, no doubt, a mountain of information from which they can exact billions. The Rothschild owned nearly 10% of all Facebook shares, and Facebook was funded with $500 million from a CIA-owned bank, which is not a secret. Don't think it was created by a bored student? This is the day that Bill Gates decided to murder all humanity. Lyme disease. Why does it not? The CDC does nothing about the Lyme disease. Because Ivan can cure it. That's why. Tibetan proverb: the secret to living well and longer is eat half, walk double, laugh triple, and love without measure. And here we sell Tibetan-style boots. While the mainstream media narrative breaking apart and the information releasing out of the United States bubble, the Great Awakening is upon us. Mainstream media in Turkey and Bulgaria have started reporting about adrenochrome, which are separate timelines converging on deltas, which is harvested from innocent children as COVID-19 mask mandates are being removed from each state. This brings more clarity about boosters and vaccines without graphene oxide, aka nanotechnology, inside the shots designed to assimilate you. How the government of the world conspired against its own citizens via Executive Order 01.08.18. This will bring information to light regarding the entire COVID live military exercise, including military tribunals, arrest, execution of all politicians, celebrities, and anyone that touched innocent children. No one escapes this. No one. John F. Kennedy, 19th Vice President of the Constitutional United States. That's another thing. We're going to have to learn how to re-say our country's name. Oh, whether the Dems violated. Yeah, pretty sure they violated. That's where that oil went that we talked about yesterday. It went to China. Good old Lou Dobbs. So Boris is going to be a hairstylist now. Hey, Jamie. Okay. So these next 3 slides, this just shows the stupidity of the sheep that think they know when they don't know. So this guy is going on August 9th. Then on August 12th, he shows his card. Does this kind of remind you of the Jim Buer comedy bit? Because it's gonna surprise you here. What? He passed away unexpectedly while walking his dog. Waiting, you're funny. So the co-founder of the South African Satanic Church has resigned and he's become a Christian. Excuse me. You can always spot a family that watches CNN. Stupid conspiracy. Okay. And we are back. Okay, we're back. I'm on the 5G. We'll wait a second, let everybody reconnect here. That was fun. Okay, let's just go on. We'll just let that. I stopped it there when I disconnected. The Georgia Guidestones, the arrest of Hillary. Unlearn, rethink. The most difficult subjects can be explained to the most slow-witted man if he has not formed any idea of them already. But the simplest thing cannot be made clear to the most intelligent man if he firmly persuaded that he knows already, without a shadow of a doubt, what is laid before him. Tolstoy. Wow, they're just overlooking everything, aren't they? Biden crime family may be involved in a global sex scandal. What? Uh-oh. In University of Southampton in England, mask wearing has been reintroduced with immediate effect. It was a couple days ago. Still, it was funny. Like that means anything. In case you didn't know, True Social had an update, and here's the update. A lot of wow. I'm just like amazed by this. I can't wait for it to get. I'm tired of looking it through the browser. I want it on my phone. Oh, Mar Satmire. Mexican president goes full anti-Semite. Stay with me, deplorables. You love how this movie ends. Blonde version of Trump as Kim. So the DOJ has launched its own civil rights investigation into Texas efforts to secure its own border. No, you can't do that without our permission. Well, screw you, because the biggest bust of 543 kilos of fentanyl was found on the border. Now, I have a picture here to show you. Okay, you see this? This is a penny. That's fentanyl. Those little white little crystals there, that right there is enough to kill you. Now imagine when we look at the next slide, when we look at the amount of heroin that it'll take to kill you versus the fentanyl, and 543 kilos of that just came across our border and got caught. You think about all the fentanyl that hasn't been captured. Hey, I lost a good friend. We lost James Caan last night. Isn't that funny that on your toothpaste it says contact a poison control center if you've swallowed it, and yet you put it on your teeth? I'd like to solve this puzzle, please. Trolling hard. I gotta hand it to the Dutch. So yesterday they brought a tank. The farmers brought a tank, and last night they brought an old Soviet era MiG to show the politicians how. Dude, we went and got a plane. We may not be able to fly it, but we just want you to know that we got a jet fighter here if we really have to do it. Yeah, hold on. I'll give it to you in a sec. Want so desperately. Okay, let's go back to this. This is important. This is your second satanic structure, right? That was a MiG-21. There you go. This is a historic obelisk placed in 1572, and it was struck by lightning in the afternoon. This was a marker. Okay, so I saw a thing when the U.S. took the southern portion of America over. They put an obelisk to denote where the boundary lines between Mexico and the USA was. Interesting to note is that they had to erect an iron fence around this obelisk because the Mexicans were scrawling words upon it, kind of like this. These are biblical markers. Okay, so that's number 2. So we know 2 are down. I'm gonna have to make a kill list of the buildings as they go down. Abracadabra. Did you know the difference between abracadabra and abracadabra? Abracadabra means I will create when I speak. Abracadabra means I will destroy when I speak. These words come from ancient Aramaic and was said to be used by witches in spell work. Abracadabra is a powerful spell, and it looks like this below. You would write this downwards to rid yourself of evil and write upwards for good luck. People of the ancient world wore this as an amulet. I remember one of my mom's friends had one of those. Well, it's just the yin and yang of everything. Tribunal, a court or forum of justice, something that decides or determines. Military, definition of military, of or relating to soldiers, arms of or war. Of or relating to armed forces, especially of or relating to ground or sometimes ground and air forces as opposed to naval forces. Performed or maybe made by armed forces, supported by armed force, or of relating to any army. Military tribunals, put those two together and you have what we're going through. I'm sorry, I had to just throw that in there. I thought that was funny. The Kabbalah and the Kaaba of Allah. Are you learning about the black cube? We're going to talk about it later in the show. The firmament, much like your eyeball, right? The perfect dictatorship. Wow, are you serious? And we're back. Was that? Oh, this is fun. Fun. I don't know what's up. I actually just changed the Wi-Fi's. We have 5 Wi-Fi's here, so I just flipped over to a different one on this crash. Make sure that, okay. Still good. 5x5 there. Yes, I did. All right, so we're still on this. Well, can we get through this? Twice we've been booted off during this. What's missing from these United Nations agencies? The Antarctica. These series of pictures about Antarctica. Antarctica is not a continent. Keeping the public out of Antarctica since 1959. This video was brutal. I didn't play this because this old man was being basically accosted by this young man. He jumped over the counter, had him pinned down in the seat, and then he pulled, see if you look in his hand, he pulled the knife out of his hand and just went to town on that young man. And fortunately, that young man died. Today was Saturday. Shinzo Abe. The shot heard round the world. You're going to watch the video too. I've got the video of it, and I got them capturing the guy that did it. He was an ex-self-defense force member, and you can see him in the background. Okay, I wanted to talk about this because this is important as we go forward. Marcel Vogel, 1917 to 1991, worked for IBM for 27 years, creating the magnetic coating for disk drives and creating liquid crystal displays technology. It is said that he received a spiritual vision of very powerful crystal design for healing, information storage and transfer, and energy activation, which became in the 1980s as Vogel's crystal. The Vogel crystal is based on the pattern of the tree of life. Vogel cut the female receptive tip to tune in to the interlace angle of a quartz crystal itself, which is 51.5 degrees. This is also the slope and the angle of the Great Pyramid at the Giza Plateau in Egypt. The angle of 51.5 degrees is also in harmonic resonance with the intermolecular bonding angle for water, which is 104 degrees, double the interlace angle of the crystal. Remember, I told you that the crystalline technology is right around the corner. All those new phones that we're going to be receiving are based on the crystal technology. In remembrance of the Japanese Prime Minister. Remember these ads when you were young? No flies on me thanks to DDT. Let this magic mineral asbestos. See, they did it so. Yeah, he literally died on the spot. Interesting. So sorry about the little problems there. All right, let's go into this. The Antichrist, banks don't, Shinzo Abe, who the WHO Bushudio, and I said that the right way. Ukraine, Truth in Chinese, Kari, Joe New, Jesse, and let's make this viral. That's the first part of our news. So let's get into this. All right, so we have this video here that is talking about the coming of the Antichrist, or has he already come and we're just suffering through now the after effects?
What has happened to Iraq is not something that anyone can deny. And what is now happening in Asham is both intervention within and outside. And it is yet to come. Asham, however, is totally different to the rest of the world. It is different to Iraq. It is different to Egypt. It is different to everything. Asham means Lebanon, Syria, parts of Jordan, Palestine. They call it today Israel. I'll call Israeli territories are in there. Palestine and parts of Turkey. This was Asham. Rasul said, you will also get into a war with, meaning mostly the Arab lands. For Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in Musnad Ahmad, he said, you will fight the Jews, meaning the Zionists who are occupying Israel now, Palestine is Israel. على نهر في الأردن أنتم شرقيه وهم غربيه. At the cross or the section of a river that is in Jordan, you will be on its east and they will be on its west bank. That is today. The narrator of this hadith says, Wallahi, I did not know where Jordan is. In those days, there's no such thing as Jordan. No one knew Jordan. It was always called Sham. Remember? After World War I, it became, or just before that, it became Jordan. The name came out later. Later, hundreds of years after the Prophet ﷺ. How did the Prophet ﷺ know this? Because he's a messenger of Allah. وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى. He doesn't speak out of his own desires, except from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, you will fight them, be in battle with them at that river that is in Jordan, which divides you from the west. They'll be on the west, you'll be on the east. And there is a river there that has dried out a few years ago. Subhanallah. He said, there hasn't come an affliction, a trial, greater from the time of Adam. This hadith in Sahih Muslim. From the time of Adam until the end of time, a trial more vicious, more harsher, more deceiving, more upon you than the fitna of Dajjal. When he comes out, it will be very difficult to stand your ground. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he tells us, the believers will unknow him from 3 letters on his forehead, kafir or kufr, and the rest of the world will follow him. The weak believers will follow him, and he will not be able to enter Mecca or Medina. And then Isa alayhi salam will destroy him. This will happen in Palestine, and the Mahdi will rise in Asham, in Syria, in Damascus, and there will be a great war between the Romans, Europeans of today, 80 flags against the Muslim nation by itself in Asham. It is going to happen soon. After Egypt loses its currency, Al-Mahdi will come out. So these are only the beginning of what is yet to come, brothers and sisters.
Hey, I want to apologize. We are struggling right now with our Wi-Fi's here. I was just looking, and I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm going to crash. And when I crash, I'm gonna jump to hopefully another server because they're all pinging really, really bad right now. All 5 of them. They're like 1 bar, and I'm literally 40 feet from the router. So I don't understand what's going on, other than the issues with this and then the broadcasting. But if, like I said, if I do drop again, it's inevitable because I've been running red. I'm at a 35% frame rate loss so far. And it's all network. It has nothing to do with me. It's all the network. It's from me to Twitch to you. So I should apologize. No, booger. Not me this time. If it was me, then yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm scratching my head about this. I'm blowing out a 4,000 bit rate, but yet I'm losing frames. I don't get that. Whatever. No, YouTube's just doing its thing. It's running really low. I mean, I'm broadcasting. We can handle it here. We can handle 6,000 baud, but for some reason, and I got enough disk space, so I have no idea. I'm just gonna go on. If you buffer, it's Friday. All right.
What has happened?
Oh, we already did that one. All right. This next one is banks don't lend out money. They don't. They don't give you $140,000 worth of their money. No, it's just a number on a piece of paper that they say they'll give you, but actually the reality is yeah, that's Q1 just ended. There we go. Wow, even the Wi-Fi's here bumping things. That's fun. Okay, well, and he steps up to the plate. He swings and he misses. And he looks at the umpire. But he should be looking at himself because it's his own fault. All right. Banks don't lend money. They give you money that is really a number, and they do all the payments, but you pay them and then they pay that off. So it's such a Ponzi scheme.
Richard, when you think about inequality in the UK, and it's a hot topic, And you think about, as you'd like the banking sector to be decentralised, flatter structure, more resilient. How do you begin to talk to the public or the political class about achieving those goals?
Essentially, if we want to produce something, we need funding. So there's a role for banks in almost everything that's happening in the economy. But what exactly is that role? I'd like to reflect on that. Banks are being thought of as intermediaries, but this is not really what's happening. Banks...
What are they then?
They're creators of the money supply.
So you're firmly of the view that banks create money out of thin air?
Yes, well, I produced the first empirical studies to prove that in the 5,000-year history of banking. Banks are thought of as deposit-taking institutions that lend money. The legal reality is banks don't take deposits and banks don't lend money. So what is a deposit? A deposit is not actually a deposit. It's not a bailment. It's not held in custody. At law, the word deposit is meaningless. The law courts and various judgments have made it very clear if you give your money to a bank, even though it's called a deposit, this money is simply a loan to the bank.
That's true, yeah.
So there is no such thing as a deposit.
So you think it's probably adequately named then?
So bank, okay, so that much we've established. What about lending? Surely they're lending money. No, they don't. Banks don't lend money. Banks, again, at law, it's very clear, they're in the business of purchasing securities. That's it. So you say, okay, don't, confuse me with all that legalese. No. I want a loan. I want a loan. Yep. Fine, here's the loan contract, here's the offer letter, and you sign. At law, it's very clear, you have issued a security, namely a promissory note, and the bank is going to purchase that. That's what's happening at law.
Put it in layman's terms, what does that mean?
It means that what the bank is doing is very different from what it presents to the public that it's doing. How does this fit together? So you say, fine, the bank purchases my promissory note, but how do I get my money? I want, it's a loan.
I want 200 grand, right?
I don't care about the details, I want the money. The bank will say, well, you'll find it in your account with us. That would be technically correct. If they say, we'll transfer it to your account, that's wrong, because no money is transferred at all.
It's already in
from
the bank.
Anywhere inside the bank or outside the bank. Why? Because what we call a deposit is simply the bank's record of its debt to the public. Now, it also owes you money, and its record of the money it owes you is what you think you're getting as money, and that's all it is. And that is how the banks create the money supply. The money supply consists to 97% of bank deposits, and these are created out of nothing by banks when they lend, because they invent fictitious customer deposits. Why? They simply restate, slightly incorrectly in accounting terms, what is an accounts payable liability arising from the loan contract having purchased your promissory note as a customer deposit, but nobody has deposited any money. I wonder how the FCA deals with this, because in the financial sector you're supposed to not mislead your customers.
Oh, shoot, sorry. The problem not having headphones is you can't hear stuff. So yeah, I had it going on. Actually, I was looking at some of the recent stuff that just came out to update you on, and really nothing. I was looking into Shinzei's death. So here we have the Indian News Service talking about Shinzei's death, and then there's a portion overlaid on the video on which you can actually see the shooter. And then you don't hear the shot, but you see him running, and then you see the Japanese police coming down on him.
Witnesses, they're saying they heard two gunshots being fired in the air. All right, that's a live report from Nara City. Let's cut across live to that.
For upper house election, the campaign speech was being held around 11:30. Then two sounds of gunshots, bursting two sounds were heard. And then when former Prime Minister Abe was giving speech, and then when the second time I looked, he was already lying in the ground, and from his chest I could see he was breathing. I heard two bursting sounds.
Okay, so you're hearing a report there on NHK World local media confirming 2 shots were fired at Shinzo Abe and immediately collapsed. I want to bring in Christian Martini joining us from Osaka. He's a journalist who's joining us live here on India Today.
There's the shooter.
Not looking good for Mr. Shinzo Abe right now, Christian. What's the information you've been able to pick up? We understand he was at a rally when he was
There's
shot
the
at
weapon.
twice.
It's like a Gauss gun.
Apparently he's been aimed at from the back with a shotgun, and so somebody was aiming on his heart, apparently. And from what I know, he's already in cardiovascular arrest. Some sources are saying that its actual chance for survival are actually very low. This is what we know by now. Now that some other people are saying that the shots actually aimed at his neck, but we don't know that. But this time he's been taken by helicopter to the hospital. Probably, I assume the nearest hospital will be Osaka, or I don't know if I will make it all the way to Tokyo.
Okay, Christian, the condition at this point, as far as Shinzo Abe's condition is concerned, what we're hearing is, unfortunately, that he's not shown any vital signs after the attack, and those images also not looking good, because you see Abe immediately collapsed after that attack. We understand this happened at a rally. There was a crowd around him, and the suspect has also been taken into custody.
Well, I suppose because of the imminent elections, that he was giving a speech.
I was just looking at the stock market and it's not refreshing like it should. So give it a second, Will. It is, the intraday is just up and down. It's way in the, it was in the green for a little bit, then it was in the red, now it's back in the green. And as you can see by the graph up here, yeah. So they're really playing with stuff right now, which is very cool. This is the WHO's Bushuto.
So what is genomic surveillance? Genomic surveillance for pathogens basically means using genomic sequencing to track pathogens. Those pathogens could be bacteria, could be virus, could be fungi.
By looking at this sequence from a pathogen, we can then track the evolution to note if it is changing in some way that might impact its biological properties.
So that added information that we collect through genomic sequencing provides us a lot more detail about the viruses, bacteria that cause illness.
We basically try to answer questions like, where did a pathogen come from? Where is it going? How is it traveling? Can we predict what it looks like? What kind of diseases does it cause? How severe is the disease going to be? And what are the vaccines that we should be designing?
Collecting information systematically from laboratories, from hospitals, from surveys that allow us to detect and track and monitor and characterize infectious diseases so that we can make better public health decisions has always been part of public health, and it goes back centuries. Over the last number of years, what was once the academic pursuit of genomics has really become an increasingly powerful tool in helping us to do that public health surveillance. And that's the real shift, moving fantastic new technology into the real world of public health and health protection.
When you have an epidemic, you need to know what is this disease, how many people are sick, how many people are dying, but you need also to know about the virus, which family is belonging to, and do we know where it originates. So there are many questions you need answer to make good decision during an epidemic or a pandemic. And this is what surveillance helps you, because it collects data, information, and then to make accordingly good decision to protect the health of the people.
This increased capability and the capacity to do so creates a huge opportunity for scientists to monitor the spread of known pathogens like influenza, antimicrobial resistant bacteria, tuberculosis, and other pathogens, and they can detect newly emerging pathogens that we may not even know about today.
genome sequencing can become very important to discover new pathogens, to figure out what is exactly causing the disease. Because when we know what causes a disease, we can build diagnostics, we can guide treatment and prevention policies.
New technology then gives a new dimension to surveillance, and genomic surveillance is really one of these innovations that really makes a difference.
The question we're talking about here is ultimately an existential question. The earlier we find a virus that can potentially cause a pandemic, the earlier we're able to sequence it and develop countermeasures, the earlier we're able to keep the rest of the world safe.
Hey, Kishore, let's have that conversation about the Zims, okay? You are, as of today, I've been up since 4 a.m. Since 4 a.m., it's almost 9. In that 5 hours, I've had 3 different people ask me if the Zim is still in play. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The Zim is a fiduciary document. It is the only out of all of the RV stuff that we're going to deal with. If you have Dong and Dinar and Rupee, Bolvar, you have any of that, you will never sign an NDA. But if you have a Zim bond, you will sign an NDA. Why? Because it's a fiduciary document. It is a bearer bond. And as a bearer bond, it cannot be changed in any value whatsoever. So yes, it's still in play. It's always been in play. And Kishore, did you realize, I don't know if you realize this, but of the percentage of people that own the bond, 93% reside in my country. Of your country, less than 1%, Kishore. I couldn't believe that number when I saw that. I was like, what? Yeah, the Zim is the major player behind all of this. The Zim, the Rodriguez Trust, the Dubai's Trust, the St. Germain's Trust, all of that makes the Zim possible. And the Zim makes everything else possible. So if you're holding that fiduciary document, as my cup says, it is divine dining, which is given to you. The chalice was given to you. Now, the question is, are you strong enough to withhold those sacks of gold and be able to distribute it, and more importantly, do it in such a way that you do not bring attention to yourself? There are those of us that will bring attention to ourselves because we are mavericks, and that's what we do. We wear outlandish garb sometimes. I was thinking, you know, it's Friday. We need to have some fun. And this is my fun shirt. This is why I bought it, because it makes me laugh every time I see myself in yellow. It makes me look jaundiced, actually, when I wear yellow. But all of these are guys, they're smiling. See? Every single one of them, they're smiling. And on Friday, you should smile. Yeah, there's major stuff going on right now that is being slowly put out there. Like, what happened to the case? The Supreme Court just took in, what's her name? I don't know I'm not a biologist, Judge. And we know that on the docket, there was the election fraud case. Yeah, we've heard nothing about it, but I know that during the whole Roe versus Wade, when they made that decision, they went right into that case. And as we know, Australia leaked out that Biden was removed. So the Supreme Court, the tribunal, not the 11, but the tribunal, are the ones that found Joe Biden in fraud, had him arrested, and now we're getting ready to see that. Remember, we're in England right now. That pond is very small to jump over as far as information. That's a small little hop. And we just saw the whole British government. So Kishore and John, if you could tell me in your chat, what is going on with your country as far as your leadership? I mean, the Queen, the last time we saw the Queen was a hologram of her going, you know, what can you know, who is the leader? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Boy, we are going to go long today because of those mess ups. So that was the Who Bushuto. This is the update on Ukraine.
On July 3rd, the whole territory of the Luhansk People's Republic came under control of Russian-led forces. The last settlements that were held by the armed forces of Ukraine were taken by Russian units and the People's Militia of the LPR. The last stronghold of Kiev's forces in the Republic was in Belogorovka, which came under LPR control on July 3rd. The Russian defense minister reported to the Russian president about the complete liberation of the Luhansk People's Republic from Ukrainian armed formations. In his turn, the head of the Republic solemnly addressed the local citizens, congratulating them on the end of the 8-year struggle. The recent victories allowed Russian-led forces to advance towards the city of Seversk. The representative of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the LPR announced the beginning of the battle for the city. So far, Ukrainian units left the villages of Siribiryanka and Grigorovka. Fighting continues in Dronovka. To the south, Russian forces are approaching the city of Bakhmut, also known as Artemovsk. They already took control of the village of Kirinova and are fighting for control of Pokrovskaya. The Seversk-Soledar-Bakhmut front line will be the main battlefield in the war in Ukraine in the coming weeks. The armed forces of Ukraine will try their best to bring down the pace of the Russian offensive in order to turn the fighting east of Slavyansk into a positional phase. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military is attempting to distract the enemy, continuously shelling civilians in the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics as well as on Russian territory. On July 3rd, Ukrainian forces used drones packed with explosives and mortars to attack border villages in the Russian Kursk region. On the same day, Ukraine carried out a bloody attack on the city of Belgorod. Ukrainian Tochka-U missiles struck the city center, at least one of which reached the target. As a result, 4 civilians were killed. 3 of them were refugees from the Ukrainian Kharkiv region. The Russian response was swift. The armed forces of the Russian Federation hit enemy positions in the villages of the Sumy region bordering Russia. In the early hours on July 4th, Russian forces launched missile strikes on Ukrainian military facilities in the city of Kharkiv. According to preliminary data, one of the bases of Ukrainian servicemen in the Shevchenka district of the city was destroyed. Ukrainian facilities in Kramatorsk and Slavyansk were also hit by Russian missiles. A large explosion was reported in Dnipropetrovsk earlier today. Missile strikes in Mykolaiv disabled infrastructure facilities that provided logistics and supply to the armed forces of Ukraine. 2 mercenary bases were also destroyed. In the Odessa region, Russian forces hit several positions of Ukrainian forces in the Belgorod-Dniester area.
There we go. Let's get rid of that. All right. So there we go. Mortgages for America, helping one person at a time, active, inactive military personnel, and professionals. We know about that one. That was professionals, doctor, lawyer, nurse, OR tech, anesthesiologist, biolab, X-ray tech. What else is there? The Blue Cross nurses, nurses in general practitioners, janitors, sanitation workers, funeral directors. If you make money and you get a paycheck, then you're the person they want to help. So reach out to them, mortgageofamerica.org, foramerica.org, or 1-888-320-7888. That's Mortgages for America. There we go. Truth in Chinese. This one's pretty cool. This is this Chinese guy is just laying it out.
你看看多少人打疫苗，你国内的亲人多少打疫苗了，你就知道他有多无知。现在出现了什么猴痘，我今天负责任啊，100%猴痘就是疫苗的结果。猴痘你知道啥结果吗？女性先从乳腺、乳房、阴部、肛门这些地方开始长疙瘩，男性从肛门、腋下，主要是这个腺体的地方开始长疙瘩，这不就是疫苗灾难吗？哪来什么狗屁猴痘啊？胡说八道的，这是。现在你看我们身边刚刚几个感染上了，所有反应症状全部都是病毒症状，但是到昨天测试还是阴性。这是什么？这是受到了疫苗的感染，就是整个的这个疫苗环境也可能是病毒，但是已经变了，就是不是变种，是病毒变得不一样了，绝对是疫苗，不是毛豆。这次体现是绝大无知的咱们国内的亲人，你家有，我家有。
Again, okay, we're changing Wi-Fi's. Connected, okay. Do 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 do. As I wait to reconnect, this is so much fun. It's not Twitch. I wish I could tell you it's not Twitch. It's me and OBS. There we go. We're back on. Hey, we're back. I just switched over to what I think is the strongest one, and it's still weak, but yeah, it's a lot of fun today. Are we having fun? I'm having fun. Are you having fun? He steps up to the plate. It's a 1-1 count. Hey, the batter looks at the pitcher. He winks at him. He gets in his position. He steps. He swings. It's an inside pitch. It's a strike. That's the second strike today. That's not a virtual strike. That's just them going after the program. I know we're reaching people. You know, it is what it is. All right, so the truth in Chinese, they were, I'm going to go, let's fast forward it to where it stopped right here.
疫苗在哪？这种无知的，咱们国内的亲人，你家有，我家有，咱们太多了，朋友，你都不知道说啥好。
So yeah, so this was in China talking about the truth of the vaccine and how it's hit their people and how they're retaliating on that. Here's Carrie Lake. Yesterday, is Arizona voting today or tomorrow? I think it was yesterday, or it could be today. It ends. Oh, it's the 2nd. Oh, okay. They had to be registered by the 5th. Okay, I understand now. All right, so this is a Carrie Lake video.
Finish President Trump's wall, blow up the cartel's drug tunnels and surveillance drones, and deploy the Arizona National Guard to stop illegals from entering. Arizona is our home, and I will do everything in my power to defend our families.
Endorsed by President Trump, Carrie Lake for governor.
You know, it's interesting. We all watched Laugh-In. Most of us watched Laugh-In as kids, and Laugh-In was live pretty much the very beginning. It was live, and then they went to, because they got really campy, and they went, nope. We want to know what you're saying before you know, that person that sat there and went, those are against the rules of the FCC against forum and back. No, you can't do that. Laugh-In was very cutting edge if you think about it. But yeah. So Joe knew exactly what he was doing, and now Joe's caught knowing what he knows.
His son, Hunter, joining the then vice president on the official visit to Beijing. Unknown to the press back then, Hunter Biden was forming a Chinese private equity fund, planning to raise money, including from Chinese investors. 10 days after the Biden's trip, Shanghai authorities issued the fund's business license.
Then Vice President Joe Biden had dinner with his son Hunter, along with Hunter's business associates from Ukraine, Russia, and Kazakhstan. And the day after the dinner, a Burisma executive sent a note to Hunter, quoting, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together."
Hunter's lucrative business dealings often included giving as much as 50% of his earnings to his dad.
The text read, quote, "I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard, but don't worry. Unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary."
And Hunter introduced me as, this is Tony, Dad, the individual I told you about that's helping us with the business that we're working on and the Chinese.
The email reads this way, quote, "At the moment, there's a provisional agreement that the equity will be distributed as follows. 10 held by Hunter for the big guy."
I 1,000% sit here and know that the big guy is referencing Joe Biden. I met with the former vice president in person multiple times.
A newly revealed text message shows Bobulinski was apparently warned by business partner James Gillier, "Don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid."
Chinese executives admitted to reporters that they were actually introduced to the vice president by Hunter Biden.
Hunter and the then vice president seen with a pair of Mexican billionaires. At the same time, Hunter had been working on energy deals in Mexico.
Joe Biden also had Hunter and his business partner fly on Air Force Two to Mexico.
The president agreed to pay Hunter Biden's legal fees for his business dealings with a Chinese-controlled company. Hunter's assistant reportedly telling a pair of Biden aides, quote, "I spoke with Hunter today regarding his bills. It is my understanding that Hunt's dad will cover these bills in the short term."
There is photographic evidence of Biden on a golf outing with both his son Hunter and a man called Devin Archer, who was another member of the Burisma board.
We also know that Devin Archer in that picture had a meeting in the White House, one-on-one meeting with Joe Biden about a week before they joined the Burisma board.
His closest business partner, Hunter's made at least 19 visits to the White House and other official locations, including a sit-down with then Vice President Joe Biden in the West Wing.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
Bubalitsky. I love that name. Hi, I'm Troy Bubalitsky. Yeah, so Joe knew because Joe was working. Because remember the term thick as thieves. And, you know, Joe and the Clintons and the Obamas and the Bushes and the Carters and the Cheneys and the list just goes on and on and on of corrupt motherfuckers that figured out with enough money that they could buy their way into power and not represent us, but represent their own selfish, greedy ideals so that they could pray to the guy downstairs and offer him sacrifices all the damn time. Well, Roe versus Wade did away with that, and very soon the presidency will be done away with correctly, and the right president will be reinstalled back again. So Jesse Waters talking about another criminal.
Clinton took a little time away from calling Clarence Thomas an angry black man this week to push a brand new work of fiction. And no, I'm not talking about the Russia hoax. It's a book called State of Terror.
Their book is about a Secretary of State named Ellen, who's got blue eyes, who wears Spanx, working to stop terrorists. They told us it's also a tribute to women's friendship, including their own.
Sounds fun, Gail. I'm interested. But let me ask you a question. Is there romance?
There's a love story in the middle of that, too, and I'm curious about who wrote this line. Do you know which one I'm going to read? Felt his naked white skin as it slid against her dark, moist body. Both luminous in the afternoon sun, she could feel the weight of him on top of her, lying heavy on her heart. Was that you, Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Well, I think it was... Out of our fertile imagination.
Right.
For 16, either of us has written. And that's as far as we were willing to go. Pathetic. No Harlequin romance is not going to get in touch with us. We said, like, well, what happens next?
You heard that right. She, quote, felt his naked white skin against her dark, moist body, luminous in the afternoon sun. Wow, Hill, that is hot stuff. Primetime is titillated. Frankly, I didn't know you had it in you. I guess all that time with Bill must have tickled your creative bones in all the right places. But it got me thinking. What if instead of running for president again in 2024, Hillary pursued a career in romantic fiction? Well, we have some ideas to get her started. Number one is called Faithless Elector. It's a sensual story about bitter political rivals who strike up an unlikely romance while running for president. Sometimes the dirtiest tricks are the ones played in the bedroom. Okay, number two, Hot Pursuit. A comely congresswoman wakes up one morning with a new superpower. Every conservative on Twitter wants to date her. Now, number three's got a little more action. A young congressman falls for a mysterious woman and finds himself caught in a steamy web of sex, lies, and international corruption. It's called The Spy Who Loved Me. That Fang Fang? And last but not least, From Here to Paternity. A small-town mayor from Middle America tries to balance politics and becoming a new father. Like I said, Hillary, these are just a couple of ideas to get your creative juices flowing. And when you're done writing, I'll be...
Those are funny. I swear to God, he's got some creative people that works for Jesse. Here we go. We should make this go viral.
There's about 12 people who are producing 65% of anti-information on social media platforms.
On March 21st, 2021, the White House identified 12 individuals and claimed that they were responsible for 65% of the medically oriented disinformation being spread around the world. The current administration called these individuals the Disinformation Dozen.
There's more than 12 of us. There's millions of us. But they want to give this illusion there's only 12 people putting out all this information.
The question I'd like to ask you is, why are they so afraid of the truth?
But what if they are the reason why much of the world has been informed about a different story behind the current crisis we find ourselves in? For the first time ever, you will be able to hear from all 12 of these incredible leaders in back-to-back interviews that are going to be live streamed for the entire world to watch.
We are at a critical juncture in time for all of humanity on a lot of different levels.
You should be investigating. You should be investigating.
So now when you have to have a marketing strategy to convince the health professionals, you know that there's something that doesn't smell right.
So, lots of questions.
I don't maybe want to change anybody's mind, but just to be able to open their mind.
You have the freedom. You and you alone have the autonomy over your body.
Deplatforming us, taking our IPs, whatever they plan on doing. They want to take us down first because we do have millions of followers.
The good news of this is the ability. We can network. We are networking.
You know, I don't do this for prosperity. I don't do this for publicity, but I do this because I understand that truth's on our side.
Anyone watching this should digest this, learn it, understand it, and share the information with those you love.
Join us for this 2-day, powerful live stream featuring some of the most silenced individuals on this planet. And together, may we transcend the darkness. Stream it live for free on July 9th and 10th at unified.tv/The Shift. Brought to you by Unified TV.
There we go. Might be able to get some headphones. Let's see if they charged. Give me 1 second here. So much fun. Today has been a trying day. Let's just say it for what it is. And let's turn off 10. Put some music on. Do I hear it? Yes. We have sound in my ears. Woo! I can actually hear the stuff again. And like I really need it right now. All right, so we are at the end of the first part of the news. Wow, we are like really running behind. So all right, let's go through this. The chat. We have a chat and news, and in the during the day when we're not here, and for the next 2 days, we won't be around online. So in case something happens, but I seriously doubt anything's going to happen. I'm hearing things that might take place if we see some more satanic objects blown out. The news. I know that most of you, I'm changing this up a little bit. I know that most of you watch it on your phone. Okay. So in doing that, I have a program called Filmora 11, and I take everything that I download and I redo it. I color enhance it. I push up the volume. I make it 1080p so that you can watch it on your phone and watch it easy. That way, at the end of the day, I put it in the news so that you can share it with your friends, and it has our little Spectre Nation chat logo, and the headphones just turned off. Jesus. The chat. This is a great chat right here. This chat right here is amazing. Spectre Nation chat. Go there. Become part of the nation and get in there and start chatting. Put pictures up. Like again, if you got news, put it in the news channel. My Patriot food, my Patriot supply. My Patriot supply is food for a rainy day. Well, we just went through the eye of the storm, and now we're on the other side of the eye, and it's going to get very, very dark. Wait until I show you pictures of Netherlands. Remember, no farmers, no food, and the farmers are pretty pissed. They went and got a tank. They got a MiG-21. They ain't playing around with the government. So go get your food. It's great food. Click this link right here. It'll take you to their page. Whatever you order, you get 10% off. And that's how the show does its sponsorship. All right. Yes, this. bringing your dream home to life. Mortgages for America, helping one person at a time, active, inactive, in 13 states, working on 14 and 15, part of SaveUnited.org. SaveUnited.org is for your business. If your business is having troubles, reach out to them, and you reach out to them through mortgagesforamerica.org, or you can call them at 1-888-320-7888. Mortgages for America. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna play this.
Come make we light up, I'm free. Your mind up, the ganja make you wild. Eyes up, so we are light up, yeah, say we are light up, I'm free your mind up.
Yeah, I got to talk to Preach. We need to get another. But see, season 3 is getting ready to come out, and I know he's been waiting for that to do a new one. But we need to get another one from him. So last night, we had Jim Gray in the studios, and man, it was fun going back in time. There was some serious laughter, and to my left, I had Dale Sausage Man Smith, who is the Guinness World Book record holder of 360s, and Jim is trying to take over that record, but I don't think Jim's gonna do it because, Dale did over 100 and plus, and that's a lot of spins. So I just wanted to just run this real quick here. Yeah, we made those, and I messed up. I spelled his name wrong. I spelled it G-R-E-Y instead of G-R-A-Y, and I did it twice, so we didn't put him out, but I'll show him here. There we go, and the last and final thing is the show. If you'd like to help the show, you can do it 4 ways. Unless your name is Noreen, a.k.a. Larry, and you're an Amazon Prime holder, you can't do this first part. The subscribe button. Just hit that. If you're an Amazon Prime member, hit the subscribe. You're in. Yeah, I have not. We have this issue with Noreen, and they say the show doesn't exist to Noreen yet. Noreen is a mod, so I wound up and taking it upon myself to do that. So we'll see. The second way, in the chat, right there, that chat, type in exclamation point tip, TIP, and that brings up a link, and then that link brings up a box, and that box has 3 set denominations, and the last one that says other. Now you can do one of 2 things. You can leave me your 2 cents worth, or you can leave me a penny and go, ha ha ha, I left you a penny, but my grandmother Lena taught me long ago that a penny saved is a penny earned, and if you see a penny face up, grab that penny and head on to the casino, because you got luck coming in your way. The third way is that beautiful card up there, that Cash App card that I made, and you can use Cash App, that's $ Spectre Nation, capital S, Spectre Nation. And the fourth way, dun, 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 the fourth way, we wish we could say PayPay, but we can't, but we'll say PayPay anyways because we like saying it. No, it's PayPal, and it's spectredist@gmail.com, right there, that email. Or if you'd like to email me, you can email me at spectrenation@protonmail.com, or you can just contact me through Telegram. Any way that you can get a hold of me, there you go. Easiest way is Telegram, though. I'm always on Telegram. All right, we are in the... Oh, wait, there's one list I didn't do. I had it sitting right in front of me, too. That's wild. Let's see here. I got to grab this and stop it from doing that. Ladies, this beautiful cream coconut, this is coconut, and then the other one is black and cement colors. 100% genuine leather upper and real sheepskin fleece on the inside. Sorry, there's a piece of paper in there. And as you can see, it's just beautiful. Removable insoles, arch support needed, and looks like Leclerc got the pull. Durable EVU, just the standard stuff for this shoe. This is an amazing shoe. This goes for $139.95 if you order from Superland Footwear, right there. and type in the code SN15. You get 15%. You get 15% off on an order of. No, it's $15, not 15%. It's dollars. I just caught that. $15 off on 50% or more. So this makes it very negligible. It's a great boot, ladies. As you can see, the quality workmanship. You got your little Super Lamb logo on the back. So there you go. Sorry, Larry. I just realized, and I got to change that. Oh, wow. I just realized that. That's bad. That's bad. Bad. That's like my headsets. They're bad. Right, let's get on to the second part of the news. We got Dr. Pete, Dr. Ziegler, truth coming out of the EU. The Netherlands, they have food shortages out the kazoo. And wow, Verstappen hit the pole. Programming. We got a strange video from a rapper with the shooter in it. The shooter from July 4th. Really trippy video. The leader of the Netherlands is a Satanist, and he's going to tell you all about that. We got some more truths. We got Ron Johnson. Propaganda. Do you know what propaganda is? Do you know how it's used against you? And the Q Army. But before the Q Army, we got the Pope kissing the feet of Jewish religious members. All right, so here we go. Dr. Pete.
On June 11th, the World Council for Health, which represents about 70 organizations internationally, called for a recall, pulling all the COVID-19 vaccines off the market. And they based this call according to the US CDC VAERS system, the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, but also the UK Yellow Card system, the EU UDRA system, and the VigiSafe system held by the WHO. 4 out of the 39 systems that are out there show record deaths after vaccination. 40,000 deaths overall certified by these agencies occur typically within a few days of taking the vaccine. Clearly, the excess mortality is far too high. And these systems are all congruent with one another. We think this is a vast underreporting of what's really happening out there. And at this point in time, Dr. Katarina Lindley from Texas read this into the FDA record. She was one of the presenters at the pediatric meetings for EUA approval ages 6 months to 5 years. She read this into the record. I also read it into the Texas Senate record myself on June 27th, 2022. And the only answer that's there right now, people keep asking me, why is no one in Washington talking about it? And the answer is the FDA, CDC, NIH, and White House Task Force are willfully blind to the safety problem with the vaccines. And it's a serious one. We're talking about excess death.
Dr. McCullough, hang on. We'll take a short commercial break. I want to come back and ask you, why are they willfully blind? And why did they pass this for the under 5-year-olds? Dr. McCullough, how can all those agencies you listed, the White House, how could they be willfully blind?
The whole program was set up incorrectly. There should have been a separate vaccine administration, and it should have had a data safety monitoring board, a critical event committee, a human ethics committee, and it should have had monthly safety meetings. Instead, the CDC and FDA were named as the sponsors of the program. They were told to get a needle in every arm. So in order to do that, the FDA is intentionally willfully blind, and the CDC has overstepped its powers. Normally, it's a data outbreak evaluation unit. So it's really a problem because there is nothing right now. There's no agency on these COVID-19 vaccines that's protecting the safety of Americans.
What do you recommend has to happen right now to change that?
We have to immediately have the FDA and CDC be dissolved as the program sponsors. I think all the mandates should be dropped and there should be a temporary pause. We should go along with the World Council for Health and pull all the vaccines off the market, figure out what went wrong, and start to really, in earnest, evaluate safety. Who is injured, disabled, and actually have died through the vaccines?
You know, honestly, today's food bars kind of got me thrown out of my rhythm today. Yeah, it is what it is. Look, 2 strikes. I'm not struck out yet, and I'm good. But the fact that you are still here after we've dropped twice, thank you. Truly humbled me by doing that. Let's get back to what we were talking about. So we just had Dr. Pete. Now we have Dr. Ziegler talking about a coordinated plan.
For some content addressing where we are in that process, something brief. Dr. Ziegler, would you be interested in providing that to the community in back to school?
Everything that Mr. Mehevdi mentioned is part of the rollout plan. So we have a pretty robust indoctrination plan ready to go. enculturation plan for this ready to go as we move into the new school year.
Thank you, Dr. Ziegler. I was just going by what the items were on the slide.
So we have a pretty robust indoctrination plan.
No, I'm far from cool. I was never cool. I know cool people though, but I was never cool. And I never wanted to be. You know, it's like fame, it's fleeting. Are you it's the flavor of the week. What band is the flavor of the week today? This was spoken on the floor of the European Union.
Thank you, President. I'm literally shocked by what I've heard here today. Are you really proposing to restrict the political activity of parties which democratically represent European citizens in their national dimension? But since when has the EU took over by a totalitarian control the political line of member states' national parties? What we're discussing today is a dangerous and disturbing drift towards a deeply anti-democratic scenario with the false claim of protecting democracy. But so doing this, we not only repress freedom of expression and freedom of opinion, but we deny the fundamental principle of democratic representation. If national governments don't formally declare a state of war with Russia, there is no reason and no legal basis to forbid or restrict any political and diplomatic relationship at the national level with Russian interlocutors. The majority of Italian people do not support the ban to commercial, energetic and political relationship with Russia, and they definitely have the right to be represented in any field of political action. That's it.
Grazie.
That was a great observation. I am telling you what I want you to understand. Oh my God, you're right. I didn't catch that. That is pretty fun. That's a great observation. That made me laugh. Thank you for the kind words. No, you know, it's funny. I always tried to be uncool. I always tried not to be the guy that was the cool guy. I always wanted to just be in the background. It's funny. One of the pictures that was shown last night I was like going through and I was putting them up and I'm like, I'm in the background in this photograph. And I went to Ninja and I went, you know, I'm in the background in this photograph. You sure you want this? And he goes, I put that in there because of that. And I was like, oh man, I love that. You know, that was very cool. It was a cool day that day. I was just coming out of my knee injury, so I couldn't skate, but been trying to get back on it. The Netherlands would love to go skateboarding, but they don't have any food. And when you have no food, you have no energy. And when you have no energy, you have no will to fight.
We zijn aan het hamsteren bij de Albert Heijn.
Oh. I hate not having headphones. I looked up and something said, I think it's over. And I looked up and yes, it was over. I was actually doing something on Telegram. In the chat, I'm going to post a picture and on it, I'm putting my name and where I'm from. I'm just putting my first name. So yeah, everybody else can. Yeah, hey, that's the problem with not having a headset, and they're all charging right now, and maybe by the end of the show, I could hear something of the show, but yeah, because if I put it on, it'll go through the mic, and it'll go to you guys, and it'll be reverb, and it's not worth it, so I'll just do without. I know the show quite well. I just, you know, I have the headphones it's a crutch to know when I'm getting ready to come back out instead of kicking back, reading, because that's what I do during the show. I'm always researching, trying to find out what information is coming up next. But that's kind of a scary thing with what's going on in the Netherlands, and that's the reason why I wanted to reach out to My Patriot Supply, because I see that coming to our country very soon. We are a country of abundant wealth, but hey, you know, it's always good to be prepared. Be prepared. Programming. Now, this is the shooter. The shooter of July 4th. He's in this video, and this is video from a rapper. I just left it. I didn't even adjust it. I just left it the way I saw it. Isn't that amazing that this kid did that video and then he went and did the shooting? Sounds like an MK Ultra slave to me being used because he's a soy boy. And since he's a soy boy, that means he has no testosterone. And since he has no testosterone, that means he doesn't go, no, you come at me and I will beat you down like no tomorrow. But see him, it's like, okay, I'll do that. That's okay, as long as I get to live. The leader of the Netherlands is a known Satanist, and here he is professing his love and virtues of Satan.
Dus dat is wel heel bijzonder. Dit schijnt een soort afscheidscadeau van Jan-Peter Balkenende aan mij te zijn, maar het zit goed vast.
There you go. The Netherlands Prime Minister is a Satanist. He loves his Satan. He's got it hanging around his walls and everything. So, yeah, that's fun, right? It's always fun to have your leader pray to an evil god and do malicious and evil things to you, and yet you still put him in office? But you don't, because it's all fraud. Like, let's take a second. In 2010, the U.S. military was about ready to take over the government. They knew that Barack Obama in 2008 had election fraud, and they had the evidence to do it, and they were going to take him out. And then a couple generals met with Donald Trump, and they talked to him, and they showed him some things, and he said he'd think about it. And then 24 hours later, he got back to them and said, give me a little time to clean up what I need to clean up on my end, and then I'm ready. So that immediately put everything on hold. But yet they were still making arrests, and they were still substituting their clones with the, so the cabal never knew, and they had infiltrated the cabal at many, many levels. So here we are 12 years later, And we're almost to the point where we can see the destruction of evil in our lifetime. I never thought I could say that. I wish my old man was alive to see this. He would love it so amazingly. So the truth. What is the truth? Truth is subjective. Truth can be colored, and I've said this many times, it can be colored with your emotions. But you have to see truth for what it is. It stands on a pedestal alone, and it's blaring. Sometimes it's blinding.
Вот так интересно. То, что угодно Богу, современные мусульмане знают. А то, что угодно Богу, современный крещеный не знает. И кто же ближе к Богу? Поэтому будущее за этими мусульманами. За ними будущее.
Now, why is this Greek Orthodox priest saying that the Muslims are the future? Well, let's see. The Torah is filled with a lot of truths. It was Muhammad was the messenger of God, just like Jesus Christ is the messenger, he is the son of God. They're both messengers. They're about releasing you. But the problem with the Muslim is just like Christianity, there's many different sects of it. Sects, S-E-C-T-S, sects. And not sex, S-E-X. So just get that straight. So it's like, in the same with the Jewish religion. There's, there's many, and the Khazarian Jew is the worst of them all. So it's which Muslims is he talking about? And it was interesting because today I kept seeing that over and over and over and over and over. And I'm like, oh, this is quite interesting that this is permeating the news cycle today. One of the things when you do what I do and when you do a lot of research, you see things over and over and over again, but you don't see it from one point of view. You see it from here, from over here, and maybe from down there, right? So it's all about how you look at it. And again, I can't color it with my emotions, even though sometimes I'm just like, whoa, I don't want to show that because that's bullshit, but I know that's real, so I got to show it. So yeah, I fight myself in the mornings to do this.
Вот так интересно. То, что угодно Богу, современные мусульмане знают.
But that didn't.
There we go. Okay, the next bit is OBS. Ball two is Ron Johnson.
It's in Congress. Who are these 7%? But that didn't stop Nancy Pelosi from lying in a fundraising email. She was touting fake predictions for congressional candidates in battleground states across America. In fact, the email was so misleading that even far-left former disinformation czar Nina Jankowicz referred to Pelosi's rosy predictions as disinformation. Here now with more is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I mean, it's pretty bad when, Biden's disinformation czar calls this stuff disinformation. I mean, it's really bad.
Well, Jason, maybe what Nancy Pelosi really meant, there are 14 incumbent Democrat senators up for re-election. Maybe she was really thinking is if they're lucky, 6 will survive re-election. If this were a sane world and we had an unbiased media, this wouldn't be just a wavy election. This would be a tsunami. I mean, when you have 75, 80, 88% of the American public thinking that we're on the wrong track, and by the way, they are right. They understand that when Joe Biden, as candidate, said he was going to fundamentally transform America, most Americans don't think we need fundamental transformation. We have problems that need to be fixed. But now they're seeing what fundamental transformation looks like. Open borders, a flood of illegal immigrants, a flood of dangerous and deadly drugs, 40-year high inflation, record gasoline prices, rising crime. Jason, this is the year 2022. We don't have enough baby formula to feed our infants in America. This is a disaster. And again, I said this should be a tsunami of the election. But the mainstream media has a great deal of power. They're no longer journalists. They're advocates for the Democratic Party. They're radical leftists themselves. And this still will be a tough contest.
All the disinformation that does go out, in places like Nancy Pelosi's emails, one thing. In the last minute or so that I have here with you, though, I got to ask about Hunter Biden, because the places that he's been doing business, we have the new voicemail that's out there, but we have photos, we have emails. You have done yeoman's work. Between you and Senator Grassley, you've been the champions of getting the truth and getting to the bottom of this. Where do you see this going? How do you see this playing out? And what can you do if the Senate is in the majority hands for the Republicans?
Well, his laptop continues to provide further evidence of what I would consider criminal activity. His engagement with the international sex trafficking rings, his father's potential financing of his involvement there. What it should be leading to his indictments, my concern, Jason, is that they'll indict, do a plea deal, and part of the plea deal will be to seal all the records. That'd be a travesty. The American public needs to know the truth. But again, the media is complicit in covering up the truth.
Yeah, it is amazing that the lack of intellectual curiosity in the media for something that's so obvious and something that is there in black and white. Senator Johnson, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Hannity. I really do appreciate it. All right, coming up, Biden's Department of Justice is suing.
And there we go. Ron Johnson. Like Ron, he's always about the truth. You guys in the boob stuff, you guys are killing me. Flotation devices, Lee, that's pretty funny. That's what I was going to say. They always make you buoyant, right? Men want to wrap them around their arms. Been there, done that. 19 is propaganda. Do you know how propaganda is used against you? And we talked about Obama doing away with the Smith-Mundt Act of 1947, which allowed propaganda.
Back in Germany, the Allies have divided Berlin into 4 sectors: the Russian, French, British, and American. Each of the victors now controls a part of the city, leading the country towards new growth and prosperity. But the real victors are the people of Germany. With their dictator finally overthrown, life in Deutschland is booming like never before. Order has been restored. The economy is thriving. Children are playing in the streets, and romance is in the air. The war is over, and the Germans have never been happier.
Freed from having to pay interest on the money in circulation, Germany blossomed and quickly began to rebuild its industry. It was an amazing transformation to see. The media called it the German miracle. Time magazine lionized Hitler for the amazing improvement of life for the German people and the explosion of German industry, and they even named him Time magazine's Man of the Year in 1938. And then once again, Germany's prosperity and freedom from a private central bank loaning the public currency at interest became a threat to other nations and other powers. I have a couple of quotes here from Winston Churchill that tells you what was really going through the minds of Europe in the years leading up to World War II. Quote, "Should Germany merchandise again," which means do business, "should Germany merchandise again in the next 50 years, we have led this war, World War I, in vain." That was Winston Churchill writing in the Times in 1919. Another quote, "We will force this war upon Hitler if he wants it or not," end quote. Winston Churchill in a 1936 radio broadcast. Quote, "Germany becomes too powerful. We have to crush it," end quote. Winston Churchill in November 1936 speaking to U.S. General Robert Wood. Quote, "This war is an English war, and its goal is the destruction of Germany." Winston Churchill, autumn 1939 broadcast. So it was all about economics and profitability. Now, Germany's state-issued value-based currency was also a direct threat to the wealth and power of the private central banks around the world. And as early as 1933, they started to organize a global boycott against Germany to strangle this upstart ruler who thought he could run his nation without a private central bank. Now, as had been the case in World War I, Great Britain and other nations threatened by Germany's economic power looked for an excuse to go to war. And as public anger in Germany grew over the boycott, Hitler foolishly gave them that excuse. Years later, in a spirit of candor, the real reasons for the war were made clear. Quote, "The war wasn't only about abolishing fascism, but to conquer sales markets. We could have, if we had intended so, prevented this war from breaking out without doing one shot but we didn't want to. End quote. Winston Churchill to Harry Truman, March 1946.
And there we go. Propaganda, how it's used against you, how it was used against the British people to get Germany to attack them so that they could be justified. Because remember, it was an English war. They were the empire. And the more I read, the more I realize that this empire stole power 257 years ago. And in that usurpation of power, they tried to destroy any knowledge of who we really were, because they were the criminals. And as long as they had the power to keep that knowledge away from you and I, then they could rule and say they were a king or a queen. Interesting things to think about. And the last video of the news today is the Pope. Why is the Pope kissing these men's shoes? And why, because of it, did the Q Army become about?
Malachi, if not, I suggest you go do some research. Here you have Pope Francis kissing the feet of political leaders from around the world and getting angry at the people that need him the most. Here you see Pope Francis kissing the hands of David Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, and John Rothschild, the most powerful people on earth. Almost like he's there for them and not his faithful followers. Continuing to show his anger towards the people. In the year 1139, Archbishop Malachi received visions of the future that included the name of 112 more popes who would rule until the end of time. His visions of the next 112 popes ended with Peter the Roman, by which then the dreadful judge would judge his people. The end. Pope Francis just happens to be number 112, and he chose his name in honor of St. Francis of Assisi, whose father was Peter. Most, if not all, of St. Malachi's predictions came true and are spot on, and I encourage you to research his predictions. Some say these predictions are all forgery and false, but whoever wrote these down hundreds of years ago did a really good job of predicting each pope. So is Pope Francis the last pope before the end? Only time will tell.
here we are in the World News Report section. And that was the end of the news. Look, a lot of stuff's going on. A lot of military stuff going down. So, you know, we are at war. We've been at war since 2001. We just didn't realize it. Those of us that knew, those of us that live next to military bases know. All right. So in that, there's a lot of deep underground bases and a lot of experimentation going on and a lot of women being put back in population pregnant and they start having this shit. What the fuck is this? No, this actually comes from Guatemala. This woman had this baby and everybody in the town had to see it. And it's not, I mean, come on. Seriously. What the fuck is this thing? It's humanoid. It doesn't have bipedal hands. I mean, it's bipedal, but it doesn't have fingers. It definitely has fangs in that mouth, and them eyes are just ungodly. As you can see, it has no digits. It's just like looks like a mitt. I have no idea what that is. And I was like, oh, I'm putting that on today. That will trip you out. Have you seen that? Yeah, look, there's not human things on this planet. Let's be realistic with that. Like this one. Archaeologists are uncovering a skeleton, and as such, they found that the snake had killed the skeleton. But gee, Herbie, look at the size of the skeleton. Oh, nope, that's 9/11. How did I get? Oh, so here we go. It's 2. Look at the size of this skeleton, and look at the size of the snake that encompassed the skeleton. They both died right there. Now, somebody tells you the giants don't exist. That is a giant skeleton, and that's a human being. That's one of us unearthing him like good archaeologists do with their little brushes and everything. Well, look, the war was this information right here. They didn't want you to know that giants existed, that giants once ruled the earth. Look, all you got to do is go to Italy and look at all the doorways that are 15 and 20 foot tall. Those guys existed, but they've wiped out all existence and all records of them all whatsoever. Just like, do you believe an airplane hit the Twin Towers? You honestly believe that? If you watch Betamax tapes, there's no airplane at all. But we're going to slow this way down and really disprove that an airplane hit the Twin Towers and it was more a controlled explosion. Right, got to slow down, but we can really zoom it in and slow it down a little bit more. See, one more time on the zoom in. Look, where'd the wing go? And it's disappeared entirely through the building, and yet there's no explosion. The mud floods. Section of wing is gone. See, no airplane.
You're
no
about
plane.
to see. I didn't know it was the 7 World Trade Center,
7.
but I know it now. Coming back, a 4-block radius
well, I think I'll collapse
has been
now
cordoned
because
off
I'm tired of
because
being a building.
fire officials expect that building to collapse.
Cars, debris everywhere. Again, you'll take a look at it. Again, this is not one of the Twin Towers. This is a building that fell just moments ago. It had been burning for hours.
Look,
there's building 7,
the
47 stories
now,
down
it's
to the ground.
21 years later.
Vince had the
we know that technology now was used then to
Jamie McIntyre. And Jamie, you got very close
give
to where
the
that
illusion
plane went down.
That's right, Judy. A while ago, I walked right up to next to the building. Firefighters were still trying to put out the blaze. The fire, by the way, is still burning in some
This was the biggest one. If anybody was critically thinking,
huge gaping hole that's in this
there should have been bodies, seats, bits of the plane, but it was like it disintegrated.
Anywhere near the Pentagon.
Planes just don't disintegrate. They leave shrapnel everywhere.
Near the Pentagon.
It looks like there's nothing there except for a hole in the ground.
Basically, that's right. The only thing you could see from where we were was a big gouge in the earth and some broken trees.
Any large pieces of debris at all?
No, there was nothing that you could distinguish that a plane had crashed there.
How big would you say that hole was?
From my estimates, I would guess it was probably about 20 to 15 feet long and probably about 10 feet long, or 10 feet wide.
What could you see on the ground, if anything, other than dirt and ash? And
you couldn't see anything. You could just see dirt, ash, and people walking around, broken trees.
Nothing was there. No wreckage, no fire.
Rude awakening. You can't hear me. Really, I'm seeing it go out. Okay, so we did that, did 9/11, Dulce Base. Oh, the background. Oh, it's because I was talking over it. My bad. Dulce Base. What? Hey, brother Halcyon, what do you know about Dulce Base? Dulce, New Mexico. Yeah, it was the video. I was talking over it. Sorry, my bad. What do you know about? Not much. What's his name? Phil, the one who got shot. I can't think of his last name. Hey, Peace Pipe. There's our ninja mod. How you doing, Peace? It's good to see you in chat, brother. Everybody say hi to Peace. He's been working during this time, and yeah, Peace Pipe is one of our mods. It's good to see you in here, bro. Awesome. So Dulce Base is where we lost a platoon of Army and a bunch of agents. And what is his name? Phil. He died a couple years ago. He was the one that was shot at the Dulce Base. So here you go, in case you didn't know about deep underground bases, which I've pretty been schooling you on. But if you're new here and you haven't known, here's deep underground bases.
Right now, there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. Each one is built in the site. It used to be, it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague Al Bielik has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off of a single rail at a 3/4 of an inch off the rail, and is what you call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface.
Yeah, that office they hit was the Department of Navy Intelligence, and that's the good guys. They struck out at the good guys because they were getting ready to take down the Clintons for Whitewater. And, you know, Memorial Building got attacked. They lost a lot of information, and it was all stored there in the Pentagon and the Department of Naval Intelligence. And when it got hit, all that evidence was gone. Love how these people work. I can't, you know, I can't watch the re-hanging or the re-shootings of them. That's awesome, Waiting. All right, here we go. This is mind warfare.
This was actually having one animal learn something and seeing and recording that activity and put it into the sensory cortex of the second animal, and that animal acquires the knowledge. From the human drone technology standpoint, you can attach the human brain to another human brain. You can direct motor activity, or you can send communication and information. Dr. Ventnor's work is, my view, the equivalent of the development of nuclear weapons when you realize that he created life in a cell. He programmed yeast cells to produce anything he wanted. These can be inserted into you through the hypospray needles. You put in a specific gene slicing, you program what you like, you put it in the cell, and it can reproduce and make as much as you like. It sends a signal and tells which portion of the DNA should unwrap, unfold, and produce a product. Related to this is an idea called DREADs. These are designer receptors that can be remotely controlled. You can create a cell, you can put it somewhere in the body, and you can remotely activate it. So you have the capacity to create any product, as long as you know the DNA sequence. You can insert it into a living system, and you can remotely control it. That may affect the way you think, the way you act. So once you know that the technology is there to edit, splice, and program a cell, and the technology currently exists to administer it to somebody and have it go park anywhere you program it to go park, proliferate, and do its function, you can have things activated in other people's brains. Just people have figured out how to hide imagery in the DNA of bacteria. You can have the information reproduced in a string form as a form of a protein. The new way to hide information is going to be in DNA. This is the first experiment showing what imagery you can hide in bacteria. This is the latest. It's a GIF file. Well, this is what the Chinese are doing with DNA. Merging DNA systems with quantum computing will be really quite an amazing and both lethal threat. The next thing I wanted to mention to you is memory. Can we erase memory? Can we modify memory? Can we change memory? The short answer is yes.
Well, we always bring you the craziest info that turns out to be true down the road, where you just go, how is that possible? And then months later you go, wow, I'm so glad Inspector showed that to me, because now it's really coming out. So yeah, I mean, our track record for hitting on things before they take off, seeing them before they really, you know, that they're just showing themselves, hi, I'm new in the movie. Do you know about me? And that's what we do. Hey, thank you for becoming a follower. Wow, we're close to 1,150. Unbelievable. Fun. This is Charles Attenborough.
And I hope that people will,
or David
watching
Attenborough,
the series, will go away with a view of the complexity and the details that we have little idea of what governs the animal world and what governs the way in which animals behave.
At last, he seems to be getting some attention. She flicks her wings, a sign that she is impressed. So, with little to lose, cautiously, he performs his final trick.
Oh, sorry. I had to do that. What is wrong with these representatives? They're not representatives. They're people just trying to get power. Now, do you know what the true power is? The black cube? Do you know the power of the black cube? Do you know what the black cube is? If you don't know what it is, you really start learning of what the black cube is. Exactly, Bush. You know, when you look into this, you're going to find that what they're revolving around is actually a bit of an asteroid, because there's a circle where you could see the asteroid that they are all circling around. And you're right, Bush, that represents the rings of Saturn. And Saturn is that guy. Yeah. So, hey, you know what? I know what brought you here. And I'm going to tell you this. Your vibrations were raised to a certain level that you went, I'm looking for something new. What grabs my attention? But for us, we're so happy that you found us, but we're even happier that we found you. And welcome to the nation. What we do here is I'm an old TV guy. Spent a lot of time in it. I'm just kind of pulling the veil. I'm Toto. I'm pulling the veil and showing you how they lie to you, how they manipulate you, how they propagandize you, how they try to lead you astray by your nose, right? We got some great sponsors, and we had this was the last bit, the World News Report or my news. I just do a couple pieces. But now I'm going to show you my hometown. My hometown is San Diego. I live in the People's Republic of California. Yes, I live behind enemy lines, and I love that flag. I love that flag dearly. I've wore that flag. Oh, look, there's the USS New York coming back in. I wore that flag on my arm playing baseball in foreign countries. I heard our national anthem being played. In fact, I heard our national anthem being played when we won a tournament against 9 other countries. Do you know what that's like to stand on the top, have that? One day, I would love to see that in Formula One, but it ain't happening anytime soon. So as we look out from Cabrillo Point and the USS New York behind the flag, it's Friday. I want to thank each and every one of you this week for what you've done. You endured all the bullshit today that I've had to go through. I think I went 2-2. I didn't strike out, but I didn't get a base hit, and I didn't walk. So, right, Gypsy? Or a man in that phase. You know, men do that too. I'm guilty of that just as much as anybody else. So this is the Cabrillo Point camera as we look out on the Grand Pacific Ocean, a little cloudy day. Look, things are happening in Europe really fast. Our friends, pray for our friends, Kishore, Rika, and John, and Nursey, and Nurse Rescue. I'm trying to remember it, and Omnipresence, all of them in the aisles. Please pray for them because they have no leadership. Their queen is dead, and they know she's dead, but the people don't know it yet, but soon they will. And once that happens, then it's going to leap over that pond called the Atlantic Ocean, and it's going to hit our shores, and it's going to hit us so fast, guys. Get ready. I mean, you thought the eye of the storm, it was calm. We're just coming out of the eye, and it's always violent when you get about 10 feet into the storm after the eye. So there we go. Let's go back here. Oops. Go back here. So let me shut these down really quick and let's go over. I got it already set up. How about that girl, Clarice? She was awesome, wasn't she, on that raid? All right, so here we go. I'm just going to let these go back and forth. We have a news channel and we have a chat channel on Telegram, and all you got to do is go up in there and type these words in, and you'll be able to join either of those channels. We ask you to put the news in the news channel and chat in the chat channel. And I just recently started a picture thing. Hi, I'm Spectre. I live in Escondido, California. And that way we get to see who you are and know where you are and have all that as we get closer and closer to that time where we'll all meet in Kansas City and have an amazing barbecue and an amazing time. And I can't wait to become a member of each and every one of your humanitarian projects. Because as I said earlier, the ZIM is fully in play. It is a fiduciary document. It cannot be touched, spindled, anything. And it's the only one with an NDA on it. Why? Why? You gotta ask yourself that. My Patriot Supply. Click the link. Receive 10% off. It's their veggie black bean burger is amazing. And I'm not a veggie guy, but damn, that's good. Let's see here. Did I turn off the video? No, I did not. Mortgages, I'll turn it on. Mortgages for America, helping one person at a time. Mortgages for America, part of SaveUnited.org. You can get a hold of them. Oh, there's that thing. I forgot. I don't know why that does that. Helping one person at a time. Mortgages for America is part of SaveUnited.org. SaveUnited.org is there to help you with your business, so get a hold of them. 1-888-320-7888. That's Mortgages for America. Boy, the gremlins today are something fierce. Super Lamb Footwear. Get this beautiful Argali boot for $139.95. Receive $15, not percent. $15. I know it says percent. I messed up, and I will fix that on Monday. On $50 or more, so you can save. That shoe cost you $124.99. And that's a quality shoe. You can't go wrong with a quality shoe. Next week, coming into the studios here at Spectre Productions for Skateboard Nation is the legendary member of the Bones Brigade, none other than Steve Caballero. I had the fortunate pleasure of meeting Steve at Winchester Skate Park in 1977 when I had come back from Japan and I was staying at my Auntie Bem's house, and Winchester Skate Park was right down the street. I mean, literally I could skateboard there. And that's where Steve and I hit it off, and I'm going to ask him to come in early, and I'm going to have a chessboard because I want to win. I've lost 14 straight times to this guy. We played over 150 games in the time we've known each other. So it's going to be great having little Stevie Cavallero in here. Josh is on today. Josh is on Sunday. Remember, Josh is only on Sundays right now as he gets everything squared away. Preach later today. And if you'd like to help the show, there are 4 ways in which you can do it. The first way is subscription. There. I'm trying to get this paused. There we go. There. Unless you're named Noreen, aka Larry, you ain't gonna get it. But anybody else, if you got a Amazon Prime subscription, just hit that button and you're in. Second way, or you could be a friend of Sturgis Steve's when he comes in and does a hype train. And Steve, I love you, and I'm glad you're feeling better. I saw you come in, and I didn't get to say hi to you. Hi, buddy. You can also type exclamation tip in the chat. That works also. Or you can use Cash App. I made that card. Cash App. $ Spectre Nation, capital S, all one word, and the last one, PayPal. You can use PayPal, spectredist@gmail.com, or you can email me at SpectreNation at Proton Mail, or you can go at SpectreDist and Telegram, and you can get a hold of me. So there we go. That's all that. It's Friday. We haven't been over to the Donut Head himself, DJ Alpha Music. We're going to go over there, and he's spinning some good tunes. I've been watching him. So look, if somebody calls you a conspiracy theorist, remember, you are the spoiler alert of what is going on. Daily, we talk about the war. So if you're a conspiracy theorist, you're very much welcome here because we all are black sheeps of our family, and I am. I am not on double secret probation anymore. I'm just on secret probation with mom. So eventually, maybe when I turn 60, I'll get off that probation. Always keep a smile on your face, okay? Wherever you go, keep that smile on your face. Let people know that you're happy and you're not sad and that you're not wearing a mask and you can show those beautiful pearly whites. So there we go. Let's go rate DJ Alpha Music. All right, for those of you on YouTube and Rumble, I'm sorry for all the FUBARs today. I really appreciate you being here. Have a great weekend and everything that you do. Remember, stay blessed.